hit me back today and was like, sorry, I didn't see it earlier. But yeah.
I didn't expect such a quick reply.
Hell yeah.
You know, it just works out like that if it's meant to be.
That's what I like to hear.
I mean, you just, did you just start recording, Paul? Then why? I know that. So Paul's like gesturing and shit because we're doing this pre-show thing, right, P?
It ends up not because we're just too aware. Like we have to not do what we're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like not acknowledge it.
Oh, I don't know. I just like
because then it's just part of the podcast. If we know we're recording, it's part of the podcast. So if you stop saying it, then we'll have it.
So is that like? So is it not a good thing to call it out though?
I think if you call it out, then it's not a pre-podcast. It's just the podcast.
So we're just podcasting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what it is. Maybe I need to stop calling it like a pre-show.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like we just like there's no intro. We just dive right in.
I like it.
I'm fine with that.
Just
Charles.
Yes.
Charles Kelly.
I'm all about diving in.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. If anyone has seen Charles Kelly perform stand-up, we all know he's all about diving in to what?
To that pussy.
Oh, my goodness. I try my best.
I just, how you said that, I just like, I almost like wish we had a sound effect that we could just
what's
play
the pussy
that.
sound effect?
No,
yeah,
Yum,
he
yum,
hates
yum.
that shit. Paul
Yum,
hates
yum,
the
yum.
sound of chewing or like eating.
Yeah.
But which is also the sound of pussy. So Paul, I don't know what you've been up to, but I'm worried about you.
Paul's like smashes.
Hulk smash.
Paul gets around.
The panties.
Yeah, Paul's our audio
He said-
engineer.
You went panties.
So it just like goes straight to like just like I think the gates of heaven, aka the vagina. This conversation.
Yeah, that's where we start every episode.
That's where we
every
started life.
episode, we start at pussy.
Life starts at pussy, right?
Life starts at pussy.
I'm Fizza.
I'm Pallavi.
I'm Charles.
Charles, and then Zara's gonna join us in a little bit.
She's on her way. She didn't make it last episode, right?
Last 2 episodes.
Yeah, she's still on her way.
Yeah. Charles, what's up, man? What have you been thinking about?
Nothing. I've been watching the impeachment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't been able to watch all of it. I just watched the highlights.
I've been watching it all. It's very boring.
Yeah.
Boring
But
theater.
Yeah.
But that's what it's meant to be. It's
That is true.
it's like
Yeah.
actual politics rather than like a scandal or whatever, you know? It's like actual legal shit.
Yeah.
What is your takeaway?
He's guilty.
Yeah.
I've looked through the evidence. I've heard everybody's testimony. And I conclude that he's guilty.
Yeah. Are you? What is the craziest question a Republicans asked? Because I've heard like the cutaway.
They ask dumb shit.
Right?
They don't even. I don't even know if they asking questions. They just talking about Joe Biden and his kid.
They're like this other thing that has nothing to do
Yeah.
with the question at hand.
They're like, isn't it true? Oh, I heard somebody say, isn't it true that Donald Trump is better for Ukraine than Obama? I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
They're like, but Hillary's email.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. So I don't really enjoy. If like something big happens, then I get those news alerts.
I don't know. I feel like I think it's good that people are paying attention to what's happening with it, just because it's like we want. I don't know. I feel like we want people to pay attention to the boring shit.
Absolutely. It's just, I'm glad people are paying attention to it. It's just I'm going to pay attention to it, but not a very is myopic the word? I'm not going to be in it.
I took a day
That's
off.
just not my.
You took a day off to watch the
Yeah.
impeachment?
Yeah.
A day off.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit here and watch this.
This really impeachment trials and like voting days should be we should get paid.
Yeah,
to get the time
definitely.
off. Big important political. So you're
Some
like
people more on the ground,
yeah.
and like I don't know. I'm looking at it from a broader perspective. I need some distance from it.
What?
Politics?
From this, because I think honestly, it's just really theatrics, and it's a fucking shame that it affects people, and it's horrible. But like everyone is just, how do you affect change in a fucking system where everyone's just really puppeted? Let's be real.
I mean, but I think when you do that, when you like make it
I
equivalent.
think there are good people in the system for sure, but
The system's fucked.
The system is fucked, but I also think that it's important that you don't like make the actions of different people equivalent. Like that's the whole point of this trial, right?
Yeah.
Is that if you normalize what's happening with Trump, then you're normalizing like behaviors that are like, criminal in our country, but are normalized in other countries, and that's like what forms a dictatorship.
I mean, I absolutely appreciate it being highlighted. It's just, as far as taking up space in my head, I don't think about Trump too often, and I don't know if that's popular or unpopular, but like,
that's good.
I do.
Healthy.
I mean, that's good for your peace of mind. I guess.
Yeah, but I do appreciate people who who are in there and want to do something about it. I appreciate that, and I'll help how I can. But I'm not about to like think about Trump every fucking day. That's just I'm setting a boundary with the news.
Did you hear that, Trump? She's setting a boundary. with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
Stop trying to text her, okay? I actually get Elizabeth Warren texts. Well, one's from her dog.
Oh my God.
Her dog, of course. Her dog.
Her dog Bailey sends me.
Are they
text.
to you or are they to Bowie?
Well, I signed up for. Oh, it should be. I should have gotten it. Subscribed to my dog's mailing list. But you sign up for it, and Bailey will send you a message like, "We're gearing up for the next Democratic debate." And it's like a picture of the dog. All I care about is a picture of the dog.
I love it.
Wait, so how are you like politically active or
no?
You're just aware.
I'm just aware, and I try to influence as many people as I come across.
How do you do that?
Just by telling them that they're wrong and I'm right, explaining them they're wrong.
Do you do it? Do you package it carefully?
You know what? I do it a little bit more better as the older I get. Before I was just like, you stupid.
Yeah, do you target communities?
Yeah. Do I what?
Do you target like specific communities, or is just
no?
anyone
It's
you
just
come
black
into?
people.
Yeah.
Only black people. I don't care what anybody else does.
Okay.
So how do you? So like what thing in the black community or like political opinion do you think like some black people hold that you're like, I gotta fix this?
Well, it's not a specific issue. It's just more like vote for Bernie Sanders, don't vote for Joe Biden.
Oh.
More like that. More like.
Oh, because Biden is very popular in the black community.
Yeah, especially with older people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they recognize him or whatever. So I got to tell
Brand
a lot of my family.
I was about on that Bernie stuff last time, and I think it's just like you get into
you burned out.
Yeah, and I love I got all love for Bernie, and I hope it's just, goddamn,
my feelings on Bernie are kind of like tied into his efficacy because he's been fighting for the right ideals for a really long time, but I don't think he's actually been able to put anything through.
Yeah, because he's actually follows the law. Like we need to. If someone wants to be effective, they need to just break the fucking law.
I don't think that's true. I mean, Warren and other people have put stuff through that have and I don't. Yeah,
that is true. A lot of people look at Bernie Sanders and they're like, "What did he do?"
But I think it's great for him. We need to have people on the edges like him that are pushing further to the left, which I agree with a lot of his ideals and his values. But he's not as effective, and it's because of him that people are able to move more left. But
he's not as willing to compromise as
which I think I think that's great. I think it's
Elizabeth.
Great that he's not willing to compromise. We need people pushing at that edge. But I do think that in terms of efficacy, in terms of practical change, the presidency is someone that needs to actually implement shit and get shit done.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I really appreciate Bernie.
I think we should have someone to do the opposite of Trump. Somebody does need to come in and just do whatever the fuck they want, but do it in the right way.
I mean, Trump galvanized everyone.
I mean, he's doing everything that his side wants him to do.
It woke people up.
He doesn't give a shit about the law. He doesn't give a shit about opinion. Let me do it.
That's the difference between the sides, right? That we are trying to have these ideals and do it the right way. That's the hope, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear what Obama said? There was a
about burning. About just going.
Not about Bernie.
Well, just in general about going too far to the left.
Yeah, too far. He mentioned he had. That's why too far left was trending on Twitter, because people were using it sarcastically to be I'm too far left because I believe in these ideals or whatever. But I think he was saying I think he was saying what I was saying, but it might have come out weird, and also because he's Obama.
Well,
but I don't know.
Let's look at Obama's efficacy.
Is it good? I don't know.
I mean, what about it?
I mean, actually, I don't know.
What were people saying throughout his,
I mean, his
career
big
as
thing
president.
was the Affordable Care Act. He also promised to shut down Guantanamo, which he didn't.
No.
Yeah,
Well, they
so,
wouldn't
you
let him
know,
do that.
Exactly.
But he could have.
But also, like, it's also
Oh.
it is a fight between like sides, right? And so it's like Mitch McConnell's like Mitch McConnell's efficacy is insane.
It's horrible. Yeah.
No, it's like he's very good at his job.
Oh yeah, but
he's
his,
very good at fucking up our
Yes.
lives.
Yes.
He was like at the outset they were like not ready to work with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean like they were really good at like battling.
Does he play dirty?
Mitch McConnell?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that helps.
I mean, he
to not be
didn't
burdened
let-
by a conscience.
That it really does. That's really the
That's the
difference.
crazy
it's like
thing,
the
yeah.
people who want the
Sociopathy,
guns
you know?
shouldn't have them,
No.
and the people
Yeah.
like the only way to beat them.
I really
it's like wild.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is it's just I definitely understand like, oh yeah, if someone can push something through, their efficacy is important, but it's also it's just I look at the big picture and this broken fucking system and someone who doesn't want to compromise their ideals, and I see how hard it is to like make any movement. But yeah, then it's just like, okay, well, is this even like a system that he can work in?
Yeah, it's like I feel like the system needs to be burned down, but also like people are dying right now, so
Yeah.
it's like you have to deal with it right now.
Yeah.
It's like we need both like short term and long term advocacy, I guess. What is the issue that bothers you like the most? What is like, because I have like nerd friends that are like so smart and so like well put together, and then they get on forums and like lose their shit. Like they argue online with the dumbest people, knowing that they're the dumbest people, but like they can't help themselves.
Is it about like science stuff?
It's political and
it's
like,
political.
Yeah, it's political stuff. So it's like it's just funny to like because there is I think like a primal need to like.
Oh, you need
argue and
you just
shit
sometimes
with-
you just need that. It's just healthy.
But what is
for me? Personally, anything about criminal justice or healthcare.
Have you been affected by both personally? I mean,
No.
that makes sense. for
Well,
people.
yeah, I just don't think anyone should get paid off someone being sick, and especially the culture we have where the food is horrible. It's like
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody should. Healthcare you shouldn't have to pay for. I don't think.
and then criminal justice.
You shouldn't be. Black people shouldn't be in jail.
It's just like another. It's like modern day slavery. There
It's
was like there was a quote from a sheriff who was talking about like the release of prisoners, and he was like, "But then we'll lose our labor." And it's like, what? He
Yeah.
said that at a press conference.
Yeah.
Oh my
You were
God.
like, "Oh, you really look at these people as slaves."
Yeah. Yeah. So those two issues.
And it's just, you know, how we see for what it is. It's been exposed. How come it's still happening?
Because I think justice is not necessarily like.
question.
You know, it's just we all know about it now.
That's a good question.
I mean, we know that about like a lot of things.
Yeah.
Justice is not the law.
No.
And I mean, you know, it comes back to efficacy. You know, it's just who's fighting that good fight. Who's
fighting it?
fighting it? I mean,
There's
I
plenty
look.
of people fighting it.
Yeah. Somebody's
I mean,
fighting it.
I want
Kim
to know who's
Kardashian.
fighting it. I want
Meek
to highlight
Mills.
that.
Meek Mills, Kim Kardashian. they
I mean,
fighting.
I guess who it's personal to, because that's what we
Yeah.
feel most passionate about.
Yeah.
What's something that you like that just, you know, sets your lights your fire or whatever?
healthcare really bothers me because like I've been working in labs since I was like 13, and it's like as a scientist you're an idealist, you try to get solutions to people, you're trying to like perform this research in order to like save lives, and then at the end of the day it can like say that I do
Yeah.
come up with something, it's like not me, it's some dumbasses in Congress who like utilize the solutions for themselves but don't
Mhm.
allow the common person to access them.
Yeah.
That's fucking infuriating.
Yeah.
It's like knowing that like a family member of mine couldn't get something that would help them that I've been working for my whole life. Like, fuck off. Like, it really broke me when Congress was trying to dismantle the Affordable Care Act for the common person but maintain it for themselves, like for members of Congress.
Yeah.
And if you look at the
crazy.
members of Congress, it's like all these like white dudes and like all these like fucking Republicans who are like withholding for other people. Like people's physical suffering really, there's a lot of like, you know, human suffering that's more like mental or situational, and that stuff that like it's case by case or whatever. But for these like physical ailments,
Pain?
like if we have you
help
shouldn't be
these
dealing
people.
with
No,
that.
no.
As
They
a
shouldn't
Help
be
these
dealing
people,
with that.
yeah.
I imagine just like as a scientist, it must be so frustrating to see things that you know there are solutions for, and just seeing how ineffective it is, and distribute. Like, why are people starving?
And it's
Yeah.
There's
also
so much fucking food.
yeah,
Yeah.
and,
There's
and
so
it's
much
not an
food. People are
overpopulation
dying.
problem. It's a distribution and access problem. It's a resource problem. It's not. It
And
like
is that
people
so?
could
Is
be
that an
fed right now.
engineering issue then?
I mean, yeah, it's like science and engineering, yes,
Yeah.
but like the specifically like the healthcare thing, it just like it really at that point when I saw Congress doing that, I was like, oh, this is like there are evil people in this
Yeah.
world that function off of greed.
Yeah.
Like it was solely a greed thing.
There are a lot of them in areas of power, which is like, basically what runs everything in society. I know it's so, I don't mean to sound cynical. I know that sounds very cynical, and sometimes I feel that way.
I'm surrounded by scientists who are very like idealistic and optimistic. So I feel like I'm able to maintain that because the whole point is like make people feel like be better, like feel better, have a better life.
I guess it's just, I don't have too much faith in the system. And I think that's probably like controversial to say.
No, I think most people don't. Like
I mean, look at the evidence. I wouldn't, you got to be very.
So it's hard for me to.
I don't have faith in the system either. I have faith in individuals though.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of individuals
Yeah.
that are doing a lot and are fighting for things that they believe to be true and fighting for people's rights and people's health. And I'm surrounded by scientists and engineers that are doing that. And so like I believe in those people.
Yeah.
Like I see that every day.
That's dope.
Yeah. And I think like that's the thing that drives me too is like people view scientists and engineers as like part of the system or like the man or whatever. And I'm like, no, I know these people. Like
Yeah.
they care about humanity. Like
It's
Is
just
it-
corporation.
Is it like maybe who's pulling the purse strings? Because that does. So it's not you personally, or you, the scientists
it's not even
individually.
it's the funding. A lot of funding comes from the government. A lot of
Yeah.
funding comes from the Department of Defense and the military.
so
and
is
they
the distribution
No,
of funding.
no. So let me finish.
Yeah.
So a lot of the funding comes from them, but a lot of the funding in science and engineering is like there are fundings for like like the robots and like drones and shit like that, which still removes the suffering from like humanity. But there's like tons of other like horrible arguments about that. But there's also, but a lot of that funding from the DoD, for example, they were funding like several neural probe projects where you stick an electrode in the brain and it moves a prosthetic arm because people who lose limbs are involved in wars. Their veterans are involved in wars. That's still for the betterment of humanity. Electrode research and that type of research is still for the betterment of humanity. People with Parkinson's can utilize like a lot of that electrode research, et cetera. So it's like, just because it's coming from the military doesn't mean it's causing like a negative effect.
Okay. Yeah.
Similar with like
Yeah.
honestly with the Epstein money, you know how he donated to MIT and like all these places. If the end result is that people are benefiting from it, I don't give a fuck where that money came. Like that
Yeah.
dude's dead.
Yeah.
I don't want that money to become from like bad. I don't want it to continue to come from like bad shit.
Yeah.
But it better be put to good use. Like it better go back into like positive research.
Yeah, that makes
So
a lot
as
of
long
sense.
as the source, to me, the source is not even as much of a concern as the distribution. So what I was going to ask you is there sort of ethical distribution of the funds? Because I'm sure at some point, someone can always be influenced by someone. So maybe people's frustration is with the corruption and there's not enough focus on the good shit that's going on. But that's the news in general.
Yeah, I think people are fine. It's like the same. It's like animal rights activists, right? They get really mad at testing and funding that's going on now, but they've benefited from vaccines. They've already survived and like utilized medicine to their advantage. They just don't think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
So they'll like bomb a fucking like a tech
Yeah.
school or whatever, or like protest outside of it, but they've also benefited from it. So I don't know about the distribution of military funding. I'm
It's
sure a
probably
lot
case
of
by
it.
case.
I'm sure a lot of
you
it's
know,
like
project by
bad
project.
or terrifying or whatever. But like all of the scientists that I've worked with who've gotten like DoD and Department of Defense and DARPA funding, like I've always been in the biomedical engineering aspect of it. So it's always like to benefit people.
When people think of evil scientists, maybe they think sort of like the Nazi scientists.
Yeah.
That's sort of the stereotype they go to. And I don't. But see,
Mengele.
I didn't grow up around people who were skeptic of science. My family's very pro science.
Yeah.
So it's just, I guess, like I'm not familiar with people who hold those views who are like anti-science.
I think it's all around us all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like even. I mean, we've had conversations before
Yeah.
about like being anti-science, but it's not just anti-science. It's like anti-scientific method, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's like the fundamental part of it.
Yeah.
So if like you pick and choose what you believe, and you pick and choose to believe scientists when you feel like it, then that's like I don't like. It's hard to say it's anti-science because people don't want to identify that way, but it is. You know, it's like anti the method that has been used. But all I'm saying is that like I feel lucky that I'm surrounded by people who are like fighting for a positive change.
Yeah.
So it's I'm like internally like idealistic, even if I'm like fucking screaming on Twitter. about,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm like yelling because I think it'll make a difference
Yeah.
at some point, right? I don't know, but
Yeah, I mean, you gotta follow like your gut.
Yeah.
What's
my
what?
gut's mad.
I mean, you gotta. I think that's great, and I think everyone sort of has their individual thing that lights their fire.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to pay attention to like everything at once. So I'm like totally fine with people being
Could
like,
you- could
I
you-
can only handle this.
And that's what it is. It's like I can't be focused on Trump. To going back to that,
I can't look at mass
Could
shooting
you
stuff
be with
anymore.
someone that's like stupid, that just isn't aware of any of this? It just
stupid
doesn't.
or blissfully ignorant.
Just ignorant, just doesn't even care about it. Just.
I think that's it. There's so many different factors. Like
Yeah.
it just depends. I need more context.
I think I want someone who cares about learning.
Yes, that's
Um,
very important.
If they have gaps in their knowledge, I don't care because everybody has gaps in knowledge and not everybody went to the same formal education system or like whatever. But if they have like a inquisitive feature, like if they're inquisitive, if they like have empathy for people, that's like what I care about.
Yes,
So it's like, what are the values that? Yeah,
that's a good
Think-
woman.
That's
Hear that, people?
people. Oh, you're just limiting yourself to people.
Yeah.
I like that.
Cool.
Hear that, people.
You hear that, people?
Yeah.
What about you? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's not a selling point, you know. Like, what would you date? So that's not a selling. That was like what was
Yeah.
on his dating profile. It'd be no, I'm good. You know, it'd be
There's a lot
swipe
of
whatever
shit
to
on
get the
dating,
fuck
Oh
off
my
my.
God.
on dating profiles that I wouldn't accept on dating profiles, but I accept in real life. Yo,
Yeah.
this like human empathy, like connection shit will really fuck you up for your standards. Like
It
I
can.
would like the people I've dated. I look at just even their faces.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I would have swiped left on this dude.
Just even their faces,
Eye
Hilarious.
Some of
contact,
them.
man.
Right?
Do you do deep eye contact?
No, I barely. People think I do this because it's Hollywood, but it's just because I'm like off in the brain. But I'll like
Yeah.
when I'm thinking of an idea, I'll like look past them, and they think I'm looking at somebody else, and it's literally like, every time they turn
Yeah.
around, it's nothing, and they're like, "What?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, my brain's weird."
I'm just in deep thought.
I'm like, "Yeah."
Nice. Yeah,
What
I
about-
could.
I'm
I
thinking
could.
about something else.
I could definitely be with a woman that doesn't know anything, depending on the way
That's-
she looks.
I feel like that's a man thing, right?
Yeah, depending on where she looks, she could be completely ignorant to everything.
There's
Just how she looks physically.
Physically, yeah.
So that's like that's the only sort of
That's the most
quality?
important.
it is.
Yes.
So what happens when she ages? She ages out of.
I mean, hopefully she ages nicely, or you're attracted to her, aging. Hopefully,
It's just a lot of
yeah.
pressure.
I-
That's
I
just
wouldn't
I'm
even
saying,
think
it's
of
a
that.
lot of
Like,
pressure for a lady.
if I found a woman that I liked physically now,
Yeah.
then I'm pretty sure I would like them in 15, 20 years. I don't think mine would change.
I just feel like, and I respect it. I always respect different perspectives, but like that's a lot of pressure. I feel like,
On a woman?
I think so. It feels. Do you feel like that would be a
yeah,
lot of
and I
pressure if
also
someone?
like
Oh,
don't
shit.
give a shit about how I look and don't or
Yeah.
like I do, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
So it's like fuck that. Like that's so like to me that's like boring. Like if you only care about how you look.
Well, that is true. But if I don't want to cheat on my wife, then I'm gonna have to care about how she looks. We can have a conversation all day. I can.
So maybe you're
yeah.
not a monogamist.
No, I could be with one person.
But do you
But
like? Have you
need her
considered?
to look a certain way.
I would like her to look a certain way, so I don't have to cheat.
I like how men always do. They always say this shit.
You see?
They're like, I didn't want to cheat, but I had to. No, bitch, you did not. You could have just broken up with her. Let that bitch be free. Have you ever honesty? Have you heard of it?
I just need.
Have you?
Paul's laughing hard like he's relating.
Yeah, because he knows the woman I'm talking about.
Who'd you do wrong,
He
Paul?
knows the woman I'm talking
No,
about.
Paul said
He's-
he's a soft boy. He's turned the other corner now.
Man, I would.
Right? You said that. I listened to our podcast.
I saw that he knows the woman.
Recovery's not linear.
The woman we saw yesterday, I would totally marry her. I would give it all away. I wouldn't talk to another woman ever again. I would take her to my niece right now and be like, this your aunt. This your aunt right now. That's how bad she was. I'd be like, okay, I'm done, guys. Shut the door. Yeah, she was bad.
That's also like discouraging because it's like, damn, if a dude doesn't want to marry you, like that's how ugly you are.
No, it's just he has a mental thing in him. It's just him. It's just me because I've met a lot of beautiful women that are nice that I should want to be with for the rest of my life. But I'm like, you're not physically what I want, so I wouldn't want to cheat. So
Physically?
yeah,
So what is that?
it's just a big ass.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Oh, that's it?
That's probably it.
Make this more complicated.
No,
He's
no.
just like,
If you have
I just need
a
big ass.
you have a
Charles,
big
if you got
ass
a big
enough-
ass, it's probably just gonna stay there. So that's
That's
not
what I'm
gonna
talking
go.
about.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna cheat on this woman. Her ass gonna be big. It's gonna get bigger.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a
well, that
win-win.
See, that was a factor.
Yeah, I can teach her.
funny.
I can teach her what she don't know.
So
How
some
big?
people you can't teach what
That
they-
is true.
It's
That
all
is true.
relative.
I'm
That
more
is
optimistic
true.
on that,
Because
actually.
like, white boy is big is not that big.
A white boy? I don't know nothing about white.
Yeah.
No, you're saying a white man's perspective on what a big booty is not that big.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They don't know what they talking about. I'm talking about that freakish ass.
Like, I'm just curious because there's so many levels.
I'm talking about.
I've given like a
I feel like I know.
celebrity
Are you talking about
example.
like the Megan the Stallion ass?
Nah, she
Bigger?
got a normal ass.
See, that's what I'm
See?
asking.
I'm talking about that
I need-
animal. That animal. Something.
I need a
I'm talking about.
celebrity. I need a celebrity
Nah,
reference.
it ain't no celebrity. I'm gonna show you shorty right now.
Or yeah, if you
I'm
got
talking about a woman that walks in a stadium, and the whole stadium
Nah,
turns
Megan
around.
has a bigger ass than Iggy. Really?
No, that lady yesterday had an ass like Iggy's.
Look,
We're doing our-
look
we're
at
doing
this
our
walk.
freeze- Okay, so that's
See this mule? This is a straight mule right here.
so it's like yeah. Okay, so that's
No,
not
she
real.
is real.
is
She's
that?
real. These are just thick chicks that just worked out they stomach.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
But
don't
I
know.
can
I'm
show
not
you
a-
fake ones. Like
I'm
she's
not
a
an
thick
anatomy
chick.
expert.
I can show you big fake
Yeah.
fake ones.
I mean,
Do you know how much that would cost? That's like a 90-pound implant on each cheek. That's hamburgers.
but you like it.
Yeah, I need something
Yeah.
obnoxious.
Do you know her?
No, I don't know her. She in Oakland.
Okay. Is she a Insta celebrity? Because sometimes an
Yeah,
ass
she
can
is.
give you a
She's
ce-
definitely a celebrity,
career.
but I don't think
Yeah.
she's definitely not like living off of her ass. But she's you know.
Iggy Azalea
So all
does
this
not have
LA
as
stuff.
big
This
of an
this
ass
is
as
like the
that.
land of tiny asses.
Nah,
That's
we were
changing.
talking about Pasadena. I
Yeah.
figured out they in
It
Pasadena.
is changing. I think culturally it's changing. Big asses are coming to the zeitgeist. They're becoming more mainstream.
But I've never actually dated a woman
over
with
the
big
last
ass.
10
They've
years,
always been just
15,
pretty.
20.
They've just been pretty.
Yeah.
I end up with
Oh,
just pretty.
So it's
chicks.
not going to be the wife.
No.
Do you want
I've
a wife?
dated some
I would- I
ugly
would-
people, Charles.
Please don't. You deserve better. You deserve beautiful and smart.
You want a lifelong partner?
I would love one.
Yeah.
I would love a chick to smoke weed and watch Seinfeld, do drugs together
You
occasionally.
could do drugs off that ass. You could probably store him there.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm
Do you
looking
want
for.
like a lifetime partner, like a life partner?
Let's start with
type of
going on a
situation.
date that works.
Yeah, I will give
You
it to
don't know?
women. I will give it to women. It's very rough out here for you all. There's a lot of lame fellas out there.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
Y'all need to step your game up.
God damn, I hear about it. I'm cool, so it don't affect me. But like what I hear out there, man, it's
No, you're
rough,
a man, so it doesn't affect
I
you.
mean, no, because I listen to I talk to a lot of beautiful women, and I listen to them, and they're like, yo, these men out here are nuts. Some
Charles,
of them,
the perspective of I don't want to have to cheat is a lame one.
What?
I have to be honest with you. That's some shit.
I don't want
to.
to cheat on my wife.
Yeah, so don't.
Yeah, but there's a difference between like not wanting to and just holding back. I don't want to be holding back.
You know what you could not hold back? breaking up with her instead.
Oh, I don't want to do that. Just because
That's because you're a coward.
Just because
and
you
men
slightly get
are
aroused.
cowards.
Just because you slightly get aroused at another
Yeah.
woman. I don't think
Then
you know.
don't cheat.
Yeah, I wouldn't cheat. I haven't cheated on any of my
There
girlfriends.
you go.
So this
But-
is what I'm going to ask you. Have
That's
you ever
great.
considered polygamy?
That's what I was thinking. I think that might be the next option. If I get a chick that likes chicks, I think it'll
But what
probably
if
work.
she
Oh,
also
yeah.
wanted to have other partners too? But you
Let-
need to
you
be
know what?
involved.
Let me tell you something. If she thinks she can go out there and get something else, go ahead. That's what I say. Go out there.
You tell me
Go out there and
that
try.
ass-
Go out there
you
and
think
try.
that ass won't get something else?
Go out there and try.
You
A
think
lot,
if you
let
get
me tell you
that
something.
ass-
A
She'd
lot
have
of
the
men
freedom
can't even get
then.
in there.
She'd have the freedom.
First and foremost,
Yeah,
a
you're
lot of
right.
men can't even get in
A
that
short
ass.
stroke won't fit a big ass.
So
that big.
And half those people that can't fit in there and not even going to approach her. So I'm telling you, ain't too many men walking up on her.
If I had Charles's confidence, I feel like I'd be doing a lot better out here. If I was
You just
like
gotta-
if I was like try to fucking find somebody else with men, I feel like that would up my swag. That would
you
up.
definitely could.
I'm just like, he's probably gonna.
He is probably-
That's how I approach dates. I'm like, he's probably gonna do something shitty.
Damn.
And I believe it
I'm not an optimist.
because men are
Yeah.
schmucks. Men are schmucks.
Just expecting. Do you should you be dating right now?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you'll figure it out.
I guess.
You'll
We'll
figure it
see.
out. Trial and
definitely,
error.
definitely go out there and get what you want.
But I was gonna say, so you would be cool with the lady having as much freedom as you.
I mean, look. Again,
If there was
she
communication,
thinks,
not
yeah,
disrespect
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
but she could do her own thing.
No, I mean, no, nah, I'm not playing that.
So do you think?
I'm not. I need a woman that likes women.
So you can have threesomes.
Yeah.
But only with women.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Alright,
don't
I'm
need
just-
nobody else drilling my wife
Okay,
while we
gotcha.
talking about breakfast. I don't need that.
But you'd be allowed to.
Yeah, I would. I
Wait,
mean, we would
what if she
together.
likes? What if she
Oh, it'd
likes?
only be
But what if
together.
she likes like hard studs?
I mean, is she like Alicia Keys hard stud? Because there's some cute hard studs. They
no,
just
no,
got,
no. I'm
they
talking.
just got push-up
you know
bras
exactly
and
what the
fades.
fuck I'm talking
Nah, I
Alicia
don't-
Keys is
I
not
don't-
a
So
hard
you can't.
stud.
Yeah, Alicia Keys is a
I mean,
feminist.
but
fuck.
I've
I don't know
seen
what the fuck
I've
you're
seen
talking
I've
about.
seen chicks like look like Alicia Keys that are like trying to be tough. But I know what you mean, like a
I'm
like
talking
a,
about
like a Kodak Black stud or something, like a
Oh my
Gucci
God.
man. Like nah.
Alicia Keys is
nah.
So
not
it's
a
the
hard
masculine
stud.
energy. You need
I need
two
a-
feminine energy.
Yeah, I need two women. I need a woman that likes a woman.
Yes, that's common.
Yeah.
That's a common perspective
Yeah.
out here,
Like,
right?
literally every man.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a common
that's common.
fantasy.
Oh my goodness.
But maybe I think women would be more open if
Yeah,
they
you
could
said
do
Kodak
their own
Black.
thing too.
Yeah. See, again, I don't really want my woman out there.
So you want to be a
wanting-
monogamist
I just don't.
with the right woman.
Yeah, I want a woman that loves me, and so we can play together, not her go out there and play. I'm not doing that
Loves
by
me?
myself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
He's not
Has a
trying to
big
be.
fat ass.
He's
Yeah.
not trying to do a polyamory. Thing.
Yeah,
He's
it's
trying
just
to
too
do
much.
threesome.
Yeah, it's just too much. All these women
It's
and their
too
personalities.
much time and effort.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I feel like for me, it'd be too much time.
Yeah, it really is.
I can handle
well, I mean,
less
yeah,
than one.
I guess it's
It's
how much contact there is. Oh
Yeah.
wait, I think Zara made it 3 weeks later.
just in time. Just in
No,
time.
no, it's funny because it's like our little inside our podcast joke.
Yeah, if someone wants to get me a self-driving car or something.
Oh yeah, we should have fucking called you. We have phone
We have phone
technology,
technology.
dude.
We have phone technology.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
did
did
we
that in
just
the
got
last-
that last
did
You're
time.
saying I
We
didn't
could-
have to drive all the way here from Burbank?
Oh,
Oh my
shit.
God.
Yeah. Oh my god. Now if we just can call in.
Bitch, then I'll call in.
I'll fucking call
We'll
it.
all call in. Can we do this remote?
Aw,
Pause?
you're like one of my favorite people in
Yeah.
the scene. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I
my
missed
goodness.
95%
You look
of
amazing.
this.
I mean, how long have we been going? What's the mark right now? Oh, like 48.
Oh, you guys started on
So-
time?
Yeah, you got
No.
some time,
Mhm.
girl,
Okay.
to bond.
All right.
We're
so
talking. Okay, Charles's biggest asset that he wants in a lady is a big ass, like monstrous, like beyond what
Monstrous.
you can imagine. Ass.
Wow,
And then the
okay.
second thing is he doesn't want to be polyamorous. He wants to be in a monogamous relationship, but he wants to have threesomes with a feminine energy.
Okay.
Third
No
feminine.
feminine energy.
Yeah, because like we're not talking.
But this
sex.
is talking about a
Okay.
perfect world.
Okay.
perfect. Ideally,
Perfect world.
Perfect world.
Yeah.
I think in Hollywood you can find what you're looking for.
I'm,
Honestly,
I'm working on it.
I think that all exists.
How are you working on it?
I met this woman last night.
Oh, was that the fat ass?
That's that mule.
Were you
Where
with
were
Paul
you?
when that happened?
We
Yeah,
were
they
we
were
were at the same place. You know what I'm talking about. She had a mule on her back. And
mule?
Man.
Big old ass.
And yeah, I'm trying my best. I'm working it slow. She just got me in the. She just accepted my friend request.
Okay.
So I sent her a nice message, not too much. A nice message. I'm waiting for the response.
I feel like you have game though. Like
I'm
you
working
know how
on
to
it.
flirt. You can like finesse your way into a woman's DMs.
If
and
I can
into
do
her
this,
heart,
if I
you
can
know?
do this, I'll be very proud of myself.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna
Yeah.
check in. I'm gonna check
Oh,
in a
please.
few weeks. Let me know how
Yeah,
it's
it might
going.
just
What-
went up in smoke.
What's the-
I will say.
What's the longest relationship you've had?
As an adult, like 3 years.
Mm.
I was 18 to like 23 with one chick, but we were wild. We were kids, and I had
Yeah.
zero respect
Mhm.
at the time.
Oh.
So as I got
So
older,
18 to 23, you still consider that like
Kids.
I was
being a
kid.
child?
I was a
Yeah.
kid,
What's the youngest woman? What's the age of the youngest one you date?
the youngest woman I date.
Yeah, like do you have like a cutoff? Like 18
Let me tell you
or
something. My
22
niece
or-
is 19. I could not bring a 19-year-old around my niece. She ain't playing that.
What about 20-year-olds?
No, I got another niece that's 21. So it's got to be like 20.
So
I
a few
can hang
years
out with
older?
it. I can hang out with like a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
But I ain't dating no 20.
But so they have to be a few years older.
Yeah,
than
they gotta
your
be
nieces.
smart. Kids,
Got it.
20, like early 20s, they stupid.
They are. They are.
Yeah.
Were you stupid in your early 20s?
Yes.
Seems like you were.
Yeah. I was very bad.
If you could give advice now that you're a full-grown man.
Full
if-
grown.
If you could give advice to your 21-year-old self, what would you tell him?
Stop wasting time with these flat ass.
I had some good ones. I had some
Okay.
good ones.
There's
just
a
stop-
mule in your future?
just-
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
There's a mule in
Yeah,
Doggy
I
time,
would-
bitch.
I definitely would be like, yo, just
and in the
wait
morning,
it out.
we're getting
Just
waffles.
wait it out. You gonna get them. You gonna get some beautiful women.
Which city has the best ass?
I'll tell you right now, Pasadena to me. After
Pasadena?
these two jungle-like asses I've seen, Moose Butt and this mule, I'm giving it all to
Stop.
Pasadena
Oh
right
my
now.
God, what's happening
Yeah.
in
This and
Pasadena?
this mule sound like
Yeah.
the new Disney Plus show.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
feel, You know what?
I'd
Just
watch it.
walk into the gym, and any gym in Pasadena, women be doing lunges over there.
Nah, I'm talking about that. I'm talking about just ridiculous.
Oh,
ass.
you mean like injections, implants?
No,
type
I
of
see.
thing.
I don't care how they get it.
You know, you must really love Instagram. I feel like Instagram was made for men like you. You know.
I definitely enjoy.
Wait, I have
I
a
think it's
question.
good.
What made you? You said you were like disrespectful
Yes,
when you were
yes,
younger. What
yes.
what turned you? What made you? Was there
Um,
like an incident, or was it just like? age
No,
group?
it's you just grow. For me, it was just personally growing up and knowing how you wanted women, how women should be treated. You meet good women, and all women should be treated good.
Yeah.
You know,
So it's
and
just
where I was
talking
from,
normal.
Baltimore is raw, so it's not like I'm dealing with a lot of raw chicks that are like just as ignorant and just as cruel as everybody else. So everybody's disrespectful, but for me, I was like, if I'm dating a chick, I ain't cheating on her. I ain't doing none of that.
Yeah.
I'm just chilling.
What do you
know?
consider dating? Do you consider dating and hanging out like?
No, if we dating, if I say
Yeah.
you my girl,
Okay,
you know.
so it's like an
yeah,
official.
yeah, then
So
I'm not.
how many women have had the pleasure of having this title?
I say like 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't date often. Yeah,
But when you do, like you're in it.
yeah, it's like
you-
this is my chick, and
So you're not against monogamous relationships.
no,
he
that's what I'm
wants-
saying.
That's
He
okay.
prefers.
Yeah, if I
Okay.
have this mule,
But she must have a big
She
ass,
must-
otherwise it'll be very tough to
It'll
stay
be tough,
faithful.
yeah.
Man,
He-
all
he
right,
needs
to- It'll be
keep
tough.
my
It'll
I'll
be
keep
tough.
my eyes peeled just for you.
I
I
don't
mean,
think
there's
we need
lots of
to
women
keep
with
them that
such-
open. I feel like.
I mean, they are everywhere.
well,
do you care if they're real or not?
I don't
Does it
care.
have to be
I
a
don't care
real
how they
ass,
get
or
it.
can
I
it
don't
be
care how
like an
they get it.
enhanced?
I don't care.
Okay,
No one should care.
good to know. And have you felt the difference between a real
I've
ass
never
and
felt
a fake
it.
ass?
Let me tell you something. I do regret one time that I didn't like talk to this chick because she did have like a big fake. I think it was fake, but it was big, and I really regret not talking to her.
You still thinking about it?
I still think about that.
Do you remember how long ago this was?
It definitely had to be a year ago. It was when I
Oh,
first,
wow.
maybe a couple,
Okay.
yeah.
So
when
the
I first
moral of
got
the
here.
story is
I remember every big ass I've ever seen.
no regret. You don't want to have regrets
That's
about
like
big ass
when he
women.
dies.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the slideshow that's gonna
Yeah.
pop through his head. It's
Is
gonna
it-
be like
All the
it's
asses?
gonna be the song from Dawson's Creek. It's gonna be like I don't want to wait. It's just like all the asses.
like when we were at that place
Oh my
yesterday, I was
God.
like, I could not be in this place and not talk to that woman. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
So where are these asses in Pasadena? You have to. Are you?
I mean, I
You
did,
don't want to
know,
divulge
don't
the
divulge.
location.
Yeah, I
Is
can't say.
Pasadena the top like city in LA or the top city in the US?
I think for me right now, I got those two. I'm gonna stick with them. I'm gonna stick with Pasadena.
Do you feel like you are? You have enough knowledge, like you've seen enough asses in your lifetime, where you can make this. You can make a strong recommendation that Pasadena is where to go for big asses.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, what makes
Yeah.
you the ass expert?
Yeah.
Definitely. I give you that.
I'm very
I don't know.
Where are
intrigued
your
right now.
credentials, Charles?
Like, okay, so we know you're
Yeah.
from Baltimore,
Yeah.
so you're bi-coastally, like
Yeah.
you're
Oh.
from the East Coast to the West Coast. You would say
Man.
Pasadena.
Pasadena got
Strong
that ass. I've
recommendation.
never seen like
Okay.
that was the first time I seen a thick chick with like a big ass. I've seen a thick chick with like a nice ass, but like this chick had like a donkey on a thick chick. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah.
She got that Eddie Murphy.
But she was horrible. She had a horrible personality.
So-
And I did like get up and leave one day. I was like, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that.
So
had-
you want a big ass, but like a
Yeah.
tolerable
Yes,
personality.
Yes, yeah. Something.
Okay.
so there are deal breakers.
Yeah, you can't be just.
Are you-
She was crazy.
Do you care about titties?
I
mean,
enjoy
it's the
them to be there.
priority.
I enjoy
Okay.
them, but you know,
But
if you
it's not
have zero,
priority.
I could, you know.
It
it's
doesn't
not
have to be like
no,
top
it's
five.
not. I'm not walking out
things.
the door. Yeah.
Okay, so we got big
No.
ass personality.
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
There you have to include the comma there. So big ass, comma,
Personality.
personality.
Got it. Does she have to be 420 friendly?
You know,
Like, do you need to? Because
I mean, perfect world, yes,
okay.
but
So
actually
for
a-
listeners, do our listeners
No.
know that Charles always brings the greens to any potluck that we have, and by the greens we mean
I have weed right now.
oh, there you go. He's a very
But I know
420
she doesn't-
guy.
Charles doesn't like to share his blunt though. That's
Thank
like
you.
a,
No,
that's
he does. He
Thank
does.
you.
He shares.
with
Well,
you.
Every time I've seen Charles,
shared
Be a
with you,
special
too.
treat with ladies.
Let me
Oh.
tell you
Ladies
something.
who
I have
got
a
little
secret.
butt,
I have
but
a-
he's not. Charles is not
I
trying to get the
secret.
reputation.
No,
I
if
know
it-
Charles is particular.
I didn't even
about,
know I had a little butt.
No,
Okay,
if
good
you're
to
a
know.
beautiful woman, I will definitely share my blunt
Aw,
with you.
that's sweet.
Yeah. That is-
That's not something he does. Because one time, I remember when I first met you, you shared your blunt. And someone's like, he doesn't do that. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
oh.
yeah.
Oh, I feel special.
Yeah, well,
That's
you know,
so nice.
I try.
That's so nice.
He just,
Yeah.
it's legal now, so he just pulled out a big old bag of weed.
That's amazing. So,
And
would you?
I'm remote for this part of this.
Paula V, can you?
you
I'm
know,
just
it's
gonna-
gonna
Can
be
you hear us?
legalized
Yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah,
Is the
it's
connection
a hologram.
okay?
It's a hologram right now.
Okay, so sorry, we can't talk about that because Pallavi's life is publicly funded.
Oh.
So
That
Charles, what
military
else
fund.
would you tell your 21-year-old self?
Stop selling crack and
Oh shit!
go move to California. I should have been here quicker. I don't really regret too much, but I definitely should have came out here quicker.
How do you get into selling crack? Was it like an
Well, my
easy
brother,
thing to get into?
my
In
whole family. I'm
Baltimore, yeah.
from Baltimore. Like,
Yeah.
my brother, they came and gave him. He had a warrant. And they came in the house and arrested him. But before he arrested him, he came in the room and gave me a half ounce of crack cocaine. You know, and they had the reason why he could do that because they've arrested him so many times. So it was just like, hey, we here, and he was like, all right, I gotta give something to my brother, and then that's when they took him.
And they never like
No.
searched you or anything?
No.
Okay.
So that was the first start of me selling crack. I was like, oh my god,
So
How
he
old were you?
basically
like 19.
And then was he in jail for a while? or
Nah,
something?
he was in jail my whole life. So he was in and out of jail my whole life. I don't know if I can say this, but I can't say it. But he was in jail for my whole life.
And then, so how long were you selling crack for?
Till like from like 19 to like 24. Cause one time he got
5 years.
one time he got out of jail, and I was like, I'll just sell weed, cause I was doing good selling weed. So I was
Right.
like, yeah, you just sell crack, and I'll just sell the weed, and our homegirl, she'll sell the regular weed.
So you guys had a good enterprise going. a good
No,
team,
no. I mean,
no?
that's how it should have been. But I mean, that's just how I started selling crack.
So
And then-
what's easier? How would you compare comedy to selling crack? Would you say comedy is harder than selling crack? Can you
to
compare
get money?
the two? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I made a lot of money selling crack.
Yeah.
I made $16.
Did you cook your own crack?
No, I couldn't. I wasn't that guy. My brother could do it. He
Science.
was a whipper.
Yeah.
But there was other people that could do it. Because you can double it depending on how good you are. You can
Yeah.
double up, and
What's a
you can
whipper?
just someone that takes the cocaine to crack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
And then what
whips
made you
it
get
up
out
in
of
the
it?
Huh?
Yeah.
You get crack.
No, but
Oh, I was like, hey, what do you?
what made you get out of selling crack?
Oh, it was just I was just making so much money, and like when he got home, I was just like, I'll just sell weed.
Okay.
So
and
I was
then
just selling weed.
When did you move to LA?
When I turned 27, like 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Oh,
you-
that's when I moved to Oakland. I moved to LA in like 2017.
Do you?
Okay.
What do you?
But I've been shot and everything.
Oh, you have.
Yeah.
While selling?
Yeah.
Was this in
Well,
Oakland or in
No,
Baltimore?
in Baltimore.
When you were selling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where were you shot?
In my leg.
Were you running?
No, I was asleep.
They shot you when you were sleeping?
Yeah.
What?
Was it like territorial,
Crazy.
or was it like personal?
No, it's just Baltimore. The
Yeah.
probability of
Bullets
you
don't have
selling
names
drugs.
on them,
If you,
yeah.
huh?
Bullets don't have names.
Yeah,
on
the
them, so it could
a
be-
lot of people got shot that year. A lot of people get shot every year. So the probability of you being shot while you selling drugs is very high.
Okay, but you weren't in the act of selling drugs at the time.
No, I was asleep.
So you were asleep
Yeah.
and someone just came after you. Was it like a turf war? Like, I'm trying to understand.
Did it just hit you like through a window?
No,
know.
the door was open. It was a
Okay.
crazy time.
They
We
were
might
coming for
be-
you.
We might be
Yeah, they
within
were definitely coming
statute
for
of
me.
Okay, they were
limitation,
coming
so
for
maybe
you.
we
Yeah.
can't talk about
It was
it.
like a warning shot.
No,
No?
it wasn't a warning shot.
By the way, if
You
anyone's
probably,
at
this is probably
wondering-
something we don't want to go into detail.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
I feel like this is all from
it's-
Charles's screenplay.
He already said he sold crack.
yeah, I
Let's get
sold
the
crack. I sold
perpetrator's
drugs,
perspective.
I don't know if
and
there's
while
open
selling
case or
drugs,
something.
you meet not good people,
Right.
Yeah.
and
Right.
not good people want to do you harm. So in that instance, the harm was done to me, and I've had many things happen to me. So
Yeah.
So then you retired and you
Well,
went into selling weed.
no, I no, I definitely continued to sell drugs after I was shot, but it was just I just had to leave. It was just time. Like
Had to
you
pay your medical bills.
yeah,
right?
you
Yeah.
gotta. I just thought bigger of myself, and like I knew that this wasn't for me. I was gonna die if I was out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you believe in the? How do you feel about the conspiracy about the government introducing crack into black communities?
Oh, that's very true. That's
Is
not
there a
a
documentary
conspiracy.
yet?
I mean, Rick Ross, like all the famous, Rayful Edmond, Rick Ross, Frank Lucas, all these people got drugs from the government. Like that's who they connect was the government. So
Oh,
that's
these old
what.
gangsters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, these are gangsters that like really sold it and all that. So that's what it means when it's not like this weird conspiracy,
And,
but
and
you
so
know.
that sort of goes to like the evil scientist
they're just the connect.
stereotype of like, and yeah, it's well, I guess people tend to cling to salacious stuff, and that's what the news would cling to. But that's just interesting because like it's this thing was created,
Yeah,
and I don't know what how much do the
created it?
scientists know?
that's what
you
I don't know.
Who
I
was
don't
funding
know.
it and
I don't know
much
how
help
anyone
in-
would
But
have created
I don't
it.
want you to cross like science with this because
Yeah,
like drug
this is
dealing and
different.
drug creation are different.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's
Yeah.
just like I'm very curious, and then again, like it sort of goes back to me asking about distribution. Like how much do people know? And I'm sure, like with bureaucracy,
idea.
it's just
I
maybe
know
the people
nothing.
making the crack have no idea that that's what it was going to be used for.
Oh no, you definitely know. You
But also,
definitely
like-
have to know. You have to know this.
Well, they're using cocaine.
Yeah, but
But
then
also,
you have
like,
to.
I
Crack
wouldn't
is
call-
different.
I
Everything.
wouldn't call
Yeah.
people who like make like these types of drugs like I wouldn't like
Call them scientists.
yeah because like if you
I
the
mean-
Wait,
formula
hold
I
on.
mean, I'll
Did
tell you
anyone
this.
see Breaking Bad?
I
I
mean,
mean,
that-
there
There
are
are scientists.
scientists.
Well, that's
that is
math.
first of all
That's
that's
math.
a TV show.
No, no.
And second of all, but I'm saying like there are scientists that
No.
have made high grade
Mhm.
drugs, and
Yeah.
there are people that know how to do it. But I'm saying like right now you're assuming they're scientists rather than just people following like a recipe who like got it from. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know
They're,
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You
Okay.
like
Yeah.
FINSA brought science into the government
Yeah.
distribution of it, and I'm like, there's
Not
like,
the distribution, the creation of it.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
If
we
the
don't
s-
know where they got it from or
Yeah,
like,
I
how
don't
it
know.
was
Yeah,
produced.
because they could have just found it and was like, all right, we're gonna do this, or they could have created.
I mean, there's going to be a scientific involvement at some point. That's common
it's gotta be
sense.
because
I'm
anybody
not,
to put.
and I'm not. This is not this is not shade on science at all. This is just sort of the reality
But
of
I'm
the situation.
talking about like the organization of it.
Oh
as
yeah,
a-
I have no
like,
idea,
to
and that's
conflate
where I'm
that.
curious. I'm
Yeah.
very
I don't
curious.
know
where
Who
it came
knows
from.
what?
Whoever put baking soda with cocaine first.
Scientists are people, so there's going to be shitty scientists. There's going to be great scientists. It's like any other population.
Yeah, but I mean, but I'm saying like to assume that all the dealers are scientists.
Oh,
I think
no.
is a bad
Who
assumption.
assumed that?
No.
I
I'm-
won't assume
I'm-
that. There are
I'm
some
just saying the
scientists who are dealers.
conflation, the way you phrased
create
it, I
the
wanted
drugs.
to make
Yeah.
sure it was clear that those are different things.
Yeah, no, there was no. There's no tie to the distribution of science unless they. I was wondering how aware they are, though. I am wondering how aware some people are because I am curious. I am curious. Like it's. I don't know. That's the whole thing. It seems like it's triggering you, though.
No, it seems like it's triggering you.
I'm always triggered. Look.
Yeah.
I'm always on the edge. So
I'm just like I want to like we don't know.
Mm.
So I don't like it's just weird to me to
I live on
include that in
adrenaline.
this
Well,
conversation.
there are people who studied science and chemistry
Then now
that
just
have
take
the
it to-
ability
yeah.
and have made the drugs.
Yeah.
Like there was something on
yeah,
the news
but we're talking
this week.
specifically about the crack.
There was an
epidemic.
Arkansas chemistry professor at a college that was he had a meth lab in the university. That
That's
happened
crazy.
this week, so you cannot deny that
I'm
there
not.
are some bad.
I'm saying, but we're talking about the
scientists.
crack epidemic
Yeah.
specifically and how the distribution
Was there?
so the theory.
I wasn't denying that.
You
Yeah.
do think there is a government involvement.
Definitely,
in
the
the
government
distribution.
did distribute.
In terms of
crack cocaine.
manufacturing, we don't know.
I have no
the
idea who
backstory.
manufactured or how they got it, but they definitely distributed it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know what the motive was? Is that
Addiction,
oh, so it's to just
addiction of poverty. I mean, if
impoverish the
yeah, I mean, if you want to like, if
population,
we're all in a
that's-
race and I want to prohibit you in any way, then I would just do whatever I can to do that.
Who
to
was the
stop
president? Reagan at the time.
you. Reagan, yeah.
Race was the best word for races, and also this because
Yeah,
that's
yes.
how people view it.
Yeah,
and they're
absolutely.
like, somebody's got to win,
Yeah.
people got to lose.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Definitely.
So there was sort of like a I wonder if because dividing people. Why are you laughing?
I'm just excited.
You're excited. Dividing people helps you manipulate people. So yeah, it's just causing chaos and creating like if you create problems, then you can be the person to also provide the solution.
Yeah.
It gives you it's a manipulation technique at a really fucking top high level and it's
Then you give
that's-
everybody
that's
drugs, and then you change the drug laws, so you get to lock people up when they have drugs.
So like just bless all the people who are like on the fucking ground fighting the good fight, you know? Because this shit is
But
infuriating.
it also takes a strong-willed person and a very smart person to realize that they're in some sort of like a place where it's structurally impossible to get past it unless they remove
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
Right? So that's what you did by leaving Baltimore
yeah.
and going to Oakland.
Yeah, I've always been different though. I've always been different. I've always known like this is. I've always thought of people crazy that didn't want more. You know that.
Do you feel more like in tune with it here?
Yeah, I feel like I'm doing something. I'm living. I feel like I'm living. In Baltimore, you're not living. You're just alive.
surviving.
You're just alive. You're surviving. You don't really live like. And so I'm trying to get everybody out here from Baltimore.
All your friends and family.
Yeah.
Have your friends and family seen your set? Because I would say that is.
My mother.
I
said-
would call you different.
And my
'cause
mother-
That is hilarious. I crack up. I swear my face hurts so bad after your set every time. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
they definitely enjoy me. Yeah.
Have you gone back and performed?
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. I haven't been back in a minute though. My mother passed away, but she got to see me perform, so that was cool. And I was just as filthy.
And this
That's
was your
good.
pussy material.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah,
great that she
yeah.
got to see like your
Yeah.
true self.
Yeah,
And she approved.
she loved it.
That's
she
great.
loved it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Were you always known as the funny dude in Baltimore?
Yeah, yeah. I could definitely easy example of like there was a chick that liked funny people. I definitely could get her. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I could do this.
Always
could
had
do
a
this,
sense
yeah.
of humor.
Yeah, and it's I don't know where it comes from. I don't know how it happens, but like I shock people for some reason. Just the way I say words, how I say words, when I say words, it's always been like shocking to people. So I just try to use that still.
Go watch Charles. He's so fucking funny.
Did you use it?
I can't even.
Yeah.
It's every time I've seen this set like numerous times, but every time I see it, I can't stop
Nice.
laughing. It's great.
And I try to throw something different. Like I haven't written anything in a long time. I should probably get back to writing. But like I love just going up there and just whatever.
You
comes
like
to mind.
include like new taglines
Yes.
that are based on headlines from that day.
Yes, that's what I enjoy
like
doing.
you're probably gonna
Yeah.
be like, impeach them. Pussy.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, Taylor and Kent.
I was gonna
Taylor
say
and
Taylor.
Kent.
Oh
That
my
bow
God.
tie with that bow tie on.
Oh my God.
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh my god. Did you use like in terms of distribution of crack?
Oh my God.
Going
Are
back
we
to the
going back
crack.
to that?
But were you like on the streets?
No. I was like, I lived in like.
So you had people.
I
on the
wasn't like, if
streets.
you watch The Wire, I didn't live there. I lived right on the outskirts of Baltimore, so it was like slightly the county, the city. It was, so I didn't really have to stand on any corner.
Yeah.
I just sat in the house and played video games,
Okay.
And people just came to you.
and people just came to me.
That's great.
It was beautiful. It was the
Great.
best. And then I got so lazy because I didn't really like talking to people anymore. I just put the drugs in the mailbox and have them swap it out.
You did?
So I didn't have to talk to nobody, have to do nothing.
That's so
Leave me
wild.
alone.
Did you
That's
ever? You never got caught doing any of that?
No, I've never. I went to jail for a house full of weed, but it wasn't my weed. So I've
How
been to
long
jail.
were you in jail?
I was in jail. I was in Baltimore City jail for a week.
A week.
Ooh.
Did you make
Yeah.
friends?
Yeah, Goldmouth.
Goldmouth.
Goldmouth was cool.
Shout out to Goldmouth.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then there was this one dude.
Did he have?
He did have gold. he did have gold in
I
his
have
eye.
to ask.
Yeah, I called his people when I got out too, because it's rough in there. And he was like, "Yo, call my people." They hung
That's
up on
good.
me. They didn't care.
Aw.
They didn't care about
Aw,
him.
man.
Goldmouth.
Is Goldmouth out yet?
I've not. I wouldn't even.
Would he come to?
He
Would he
wouldn't
come to
even.
a show?
Do you
I
even know his
wouldn't-
real name?
Oh, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Probably
His
safe-
government-
better
He's
that
probably
for
passed
him.
away. Probably. Poor Goldmouth.
Aw.
Rest in
Right.
peace. If
Yeah.
you
We have to
in
wrap,
life and
right?
after.
Should we do any of our segments or closers?
Do you want to do segments like about brown people?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it then.
Who
Charles, down.
is your favorite South Asian celebrity?
South Asian like us, like brown, Pakistani, Indian. I know that's like some people, like it
Sri
overwhelms
Lankan.
them. They're like,
Sri Lankan counts.
yeah.
Manvi?
Asif
the
Manvi?
Yeah, Asif Manvi.
Asif Manvi.
Asif
Yeah.
Manvi from The Daily Show, yeah.
That's
It's,
awesome.
that
That
makes
makes
an
sense.
OG.
Political.
It's an OG. Yeah, I
Mm.
saw his live show in New York. I want to say around this time last year. He was great.
Yeah.
He's effing great.
It's a great choice.
That's a good one.
And then what stereotype or like this is a safe space, so there are no dumb questions. But what like question you have about like our people, our culture that you might not ask someone in your daily life, but you've always like wondered?
Oh my God.
I know it's a lot of pressure
I don't know what's. Oh my God.
because it's like asking you to ask a question you judge yourself for asking.
It's a safe space. We won't judge you. Don't even worry about it.
Well, in Baltimore, are there?
Oh, I do have a question. 7-Elevens.
Yeah.
How does that work? How come is there a system?
I thought that there was like, so
'Cause-
I'm not sure about this with 7-Eleven specifically, but I thought the U.S. government gave visas to people in specific. I think this was something I was supposed to look up forever ago, but like for like Korean nail ladies, for
Mhm,
example,
yeah.
like I think it's like a combination of like how the U.S. distributes visas for specific work
Okay.
reasons, and then also like people bringing in their own people into their family
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I'm not
so
sure.
it's family business is spreading.
Okay.
And it's sort of like, your friend, like if you immigrate here
yeah.
and like the people you know
Yeah.
in
You
You get them a
America
job.
know how to do like
If your brother's
this type of
dealing
work.
crack, then
Yeah.
you deal crack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you pass it down.
You pass it down.
Okay.
Mom's
Yeah.
doing nails. Maybe
Yeah,
Aunt's
it's
Yeah.
like
doing nails
skill
too.
sets you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Family
Yeah,
business.
it's similar to, I can't speak on 7-Elevens, but I personally know a lot of friends that I grew up with, Indian Americans whose uncles and families, like they come here, they get a franchise up for Dunkin' Donuts. And then as more of the family immigrates here, they
Pass it
get
down.
more of the family to work in the Dunkin' Donuts, and then they open up more franchises and things like that. So it's really just a matter of like as an immigrant, like
It's
what
just their niche.
resources-
it's your
Enterprise,
niche.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
what you as a family, what you business you could go
okay.
into, and then you hire your
It's
own
a beautiful
people, right?
plant.
It's like
Yeah.
stability for them.
Yeah.
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 That's what they
Beautiful
know.
plant.
Yeah, you plant the seed, let's say 7-Eleven, and then moves out. We got the 7-Eleven, we're start
Yeah.
here, and we're rolling with it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool. Well, where can we find you?
Oh, I do, I don't know where I'll be, but I do the Tuskegee Jokeman podcast as well.
Yeah. And what's
Yeah.
Out
your
of the comedy
socials?
store, right?
Yeah. No, we got kicked out the comedy store.
Aw,
Yeah,
man.
which was a good thing. At Charles Kelly 420. It's my birthday, so I'm not like a weed hack. Yeah, yeah,
What?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
yeah.
Serendipitous for sure.
Yeah.
Do you get mad that you can't celebrate them separately? You're like,
No,
bring me
no,
gifts
I-
for both, bitch.
No, yeah, no. Keep the weed perfect.
I have a question. Is Hoffa your real middle name?
Oh my God, Charles Kelly isn't my real name. So Hoffa is no. Hoffa came from I played video games. I was very popular on like Xbox, the first one, and I needed a name. And Jimmy Hoffa was a man of the people,
Mm,
and I feel like I'm a man of the people.
interesting.
You are a man of the people. Thank you so
Cool.
much for coming on.
Yeah. Ours
Mhm.
are. Ooh, we're getting a picture from Paul. Are you ready to pose,
he has a
Fizz?
new iPhone.
Thank you.
Damn.
I appreciate it.
So our socials are Facial Recognition Comedy on Instagram and Facebook, and Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter. We're also at www.facialrecognitioncomedy.com. We have our shows the second Sunday of every month at Westside Comedy Theater at 9 p.m.
December
so our
8th.
next show is December 8th. There you
Yep,
go.
Sunday, December 8th, 9 p.m. And then we are in New York, Comedy Club Gramercy location, December 20th, 11:30 p.m. Make sure to use promo code
FRC.
for $10 off.
Use it. Please
Yes.
use it. Definitely use it. Tell all your people to use it.
And if you're listening to this, if you actually listen past our social media, you know, like, rate us. Give us reviews. We want to
Rate,
hear from you. Ask
review.
us questions. Slide
Like.
in our DMs.
Tell your friends.
Tell us if you want to bring people back. Tell us if you want Charles Hoffa
Oh my goodness.
Kelly to be in another episode. I don't
Tell
know.
us
If
which
that's
guest.
his real fake name.
Tell us which guests you like the best.
Tell us which ones you hate. No, I'm
Tell us,
kidding.
tell us if you know anyone with a big ass that you want to
Oh my
introduce
gosh.
Charles to. Slide up in our DMs. We'll forward along to Charles.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
That
Or
would be
slide up in
perfect.
Charles's DMs. What is it? Charles
Kelly 420.
Kelly 420. There you go.
Ooh, also, we are trying to up our Patreon. Patreon.com/facial recognition comedy. We're going to come up with better incentives at some point.
Yeah, do you guys have any ideas? If you guys have ideas, let us know. What do you want from us? Because, like, you know, what's the market want from us?
First of
'Cause
all,
we want to.
no
we want to have a
kissing.
relationship.
No kissing.
No kissing.
I
no
guess we
kissing
don't-
on the mouth, okay?
There should be
No.
a swimsuit edition.
No feet. Maybe
No,
I'll consider
I think
feet.
Zara's considering
She
feet.
said no
Maybe.
feet real quick, and then
And
she
then
said
she's like, you know
maybe
what, I
same
don't.
breath.
That was a good
Feet.
intro into feet.
Maybe I'll charge $30 for each foot viewing.
I feel like you could get more.
You
You
could
think I
definitely
could
get your
more?
feet out
All
there.
right, maybe
Yeah.
I lowballed myself. I don't know. I got to see what's out there in the market. And then,
Anyways,
anyway, we
give
don't
us
have to
money. Zara's going to look into the economy of feet.
I don't know.
Guys, it costs money. Flights, this whole show, everything costs money. Please.
And we're running around on our worn out feet.
Oh,
So
man,
if you
my
want them
feet
to
are
look
tired.
nice,
Yeah, basically, we want to keep doing this for you. So if you're enjoying this,
we need nail money. We need to be flued
You
out.
want to
what
see
do
my
you say, bitch
feet?
shit?
Pay
We
for my
need bitch
pedicure.
shit. We need bitch shit.
All right.
Yeah, where are we on the internet?
I already said that. Say yours now.
Yeah. So yeah, I meant like us individually.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay,
Your
so,
turn.
I mean, yeah, but Fizza Dasani at Fizza Dasani, FIZAADOSANI, and then .com if you want to go to a website.
Pallavigaнаlan, PALLAVIGUNALAN. That's my website, my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook.
And I'm really Zara on all the socials and soon to be.com. Zara is ZAHRA.
Do you own the .com?
I do own the .com. Someone who has time, please do my website. Okay,
Oh my
thanks.
goodness.
Bye.
Do you have any last words?
No.
Closing remarks.
That's fair.
No. It was. I had fun. Just wish me luck.
Good
Good
luck.
luck.
Just wish
Good
me
luck. Go find your mule. All right.
Working on it.
Bye, everybody.